The Rise and Journey of John Cena, WWE star turned movie star. Written by Shauna Versa. From the WWE to the silver screen. To reach the top of one's field in any career takes an enormous amount of talent, dedication, perseverance, and hard work. To then pivot and begin anew in another career and enjoy similar success requires the same traits, but heightened, making anyone who can make the transition all the more impressive and commendable.
Camaraderie of WWE. Like once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, and you help each other.
It was awesome. I had a blast filming that one.
John Cena, who rose to prominence as one of the most prolific wrestlers the WWE has ever seen, garnering millions of fans around the world, has flourished in his transition from wrestler to movie star, becoming one of Hollywood's biggest names and most recognizable faces. It is not unheard of for former WWE wrestlers to make the transition to acting, as audiences have been graced with the performances given by former wrestlers such as Dave Bautista, who starred in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I am a dancer, Gamora is not.
You just need to find a woman who is pathetic. Like you.
The biggest movie star in the world in 2021 is none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who recently starred alongside Emily Blunt in Disney's Jungle Cruise. There has to be a reason as to why so many WWE stars have had such success in film following their illustrious wrestling careers. That reason? Showmanship. These highly gifted athletes have, of course, their hard work and physical training to thank for some of their success. However, it is the charisma and talent of knowing how to work and entertain a crowd that translates incredibly well in their performances as actors.
WWE is sports entertainment. It uses sport to entertain. It's an infinite narrative. So we tell the story of good versus evil.
John Cena is one of the most charismatic actors and people working today, and that intangible it factor that Cena embraced and embodied in the WWE ring allowed for his excellent, fun performances that he's given over the years. Beginnings in film. Cena would make his acting debut in 2006's The Marine, an action comedy that set the young actor as the lead character for his first film. While the film was not as warmly received critically as it was financially, the film has since grown a cult following that led to multiple direct-to-video sequels.
Now I go and get fired from some bullshit security job. Sorry.
Cena would bounce around in smaller films such as Nickelodeon's Fred the Movie, where he would portray an imaginary version of the title character's father. It would not be until 2015 where Cena would have his big breakout year in film. In 2015, Cena would appear in 3 theatrically released major motion pictures, which would begin his meteoric rise to movie stardom. First, Cena would portray a supporting character in the Bill Hader-Amy Schumer-led hit comedy Trainwreck. His performance in the film is an absolute scene stealer that captivated audiences. The odd chemistry that Cena has with co-star Amy Schumer is hysterical, and one that audiences will remember for a long time to come.
Here, you like movies? We'll make a movie.
Oh, God.
We'll make Mama Say Knock You Out, starring my fist in your dick hole.
Oh,
Trainwreck would go on to be one of the key roles that began to see Cena's rise in comedic roles. His next film would be a small role in the comedy Sisters, which starred Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, where Cena portrays a drug dealer. Playing a bit against type, monotone and fast-talking, Cena is very funny as the incredibly well-equipped drug dealer Pazuzu, and further cemented himself as a great comedic performer. His last comedic appearance that year would be in a cameo role in the Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg comedy Daddy's Home, portraying the father of Wahlberg's stepdaughter. After much financial success, the film would receive a sequel that Cena would reprise the role in, Daddy's Home 2.
Come on, what am I doing? I want to celebrate Christmas with my perfect little girl. Don't you want to spend the holidays with your one true, real dad?
A diversifying filmography. In 2017, Cena took a step towards dramaticism by starring in the war thriller The Wall opposite kick-ass star Aaron Taylor Johnson. The film depicts 2 American soldiers pinned down by a sniper with only a small brick wall to take cover behind. The film is gripping due to both the direction and the performances of its 2 leads. Cena is exceptional in the film, giving an intense, heartbreaking performance. Cena and Taylor Johnson work well together, establishing a chemistry and camaraderie between each other that makes the audience root for the 2 soldiers' survival all the more.
What about RJ? RJ. Tell fucking RJ that I got fucking 22 grand, man. 22.
The film departed from Cena's comedic roots and offered a truly captivating dramatic performance as the desperation of the circumstances can be read across Cena's face. Later that same year, Cena would lend his voice talents to the animated children's film Ferdinand, portraying the titular character of the film, a bull named Ferdinand. The film was another hit for Cena that resonated with both critics and audiences alike, seeing a great box office turnout. Cena would go on to lend his voice talents to the Robert Downey Jr. film Doolittle, portraying Yoshi in 2020. Cena returned to comedy in 2018 in the film Blockers, which also starred Ike Barinholtz and Leslie Mann, pitting Cena as a protective father keen on blocking his daughter from losing her virginity on prom night.
No, maybe not. They're best friends. They're just saying, like, you're okay with me. You're okay to me. You're okay to me.
Cena's performance in the film is as hilarious as one would expect it to be, further supplanting why Cena is a comedic force in the industry. With this return to comedy, Cena now had crafted a diversified portfolio showcasing his dramatic and voice acting abilities. Stepping into franchise films. After demonstrating his prowess as an actor beyond comedy, Cena joined several film franchises in key roles, with the first being the Transformers franchise in 2018's Bumblebee. Starring opposite Haley Steinfeld, Cena portrayed a military man, not unlike his character in The Wall, and gives an excellent performance offering fun, intense moments as well as moments of levity where Cena continues to flex his comedic capabilities.
Of information, volumes of data at their fingertips. It's revolutionary.
He's a weird guy. You don't notice that about Paul?
Cena also signed on to the Vin Diesel-led Fast and Furious franchise in F9, getting the opportunity to play antagonist to the film. Cena excels in the role and brings his physicality to the action sequences, as well as his acting ability, eating up his villainous moments. Most recently, Cena joined the DC Extended Universe in the James Gunn film The Suicide Squad as the hilariously over-the-top Captain America Gone Wrong Peacemaker. Starring opposite Margot Robbie and Idris Elba, Cena again gets the opportunity to bring his athleticism to the action sequences and his comedic chops to James Gunn's electric writing.
You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head. We don't leave one of our own behind.
John Cena is emblematic of the old adage, hard work pays off. Few can claim they have made their way to the top of their industry, yet John Cena may have just done it twice right before the eyes of audiences around the world, which is something everyone should take the time to appreciate. What's next for John Cena? John Cena is set to star in a spin-off series to James Gunn's The Suicide Squad titled Peacemaker. The series is set to release on HBO Max in 2022.